Mario sports games have tried to throw in boss battles throughout various different installments, even as far back as Mario Power Tennis on the GameCube, and they don't end up the best. But I always love to see what in the world Nintendo's going to come up with for a final boss battle, like playing volleyball and spiking it on Behemoth from Final Fantasy, or even fighting a giant Snow King snowman with golf clubs. Yep, this is a thing. But I gotta hand it to Nintendo. For games about specific sports, it's remarkable that they were even able to come up with actual boss battle content for these games. Like, I still can't believe Mario Golf has boss battles. Now, Mario Tennis isn't a stranger to boss battles, and like I said, it's the first game to actually do it, with Mario Power Tennis on the GameCube, which had us fighting the giant Mecha Bowser from Mario Sunshine. But all you had to do was run around and swing your racket like crazy, and it would fire orbs of energy. Yeah, you didn't really even have to move if you didn't want to. But we had to go from the GameCube all the way to the Nintendo Switch before we seen another boss battle in a tennis game, which gave us Bowsian. Yep. I will say, Mario Tennis Aces actually had some really good boss battles, and its final boss, Bowsian, was actually pretty good as well. The only issue that I personally had was the stupid time limit, which had you hurrying up and rushing the boss battle, which I just wasn't a big fan of. Now, what made these boss battles so good was definitely the new movement tech. You were able to do these really cool super jump flips, which allowed you to pretty much just jump over things, almost like a 3D platformer. So any attacks that Bowser would shoot at you, all you had to do was hop over them. It was pretty cool and intuitive, believe it or not. And I'll also say this boss battle was easily one of the harder ones, and also kind of raw the way they changed Bowser. He was kind of possessed by some mummy racket that turned him into this thing. It forced you to not only dodge attacks really well, but also learn how to aim and place your shots as well. But one distinct thing about Aces is there's not many cutscenes for the story besides the very beginning, and also, wow, the character models look horrible. But anyways, now with the Switch 2, we have Mario Tennis Fever. And the boss battles in this game are actually pretty good as well. I wouldn't say any of them are anything too crazy. Once again, it's a tennis game. There's only so much you can do, but they actually take full usage of every single bit of the movesets in this game. I just wish they used more of the rackets. Now, yesterday, I pretty much talked about the entirety of the story and how I thought about it and how I thought the gameplay matched up with past games. But today, I want to focus on the ending of the game. But in order to do so, I need to recap the story for you guys. It's nothing special. Like, Daisy literally just gets sick, and they set out to find this golden fruit to help her that Wario and Waluigi just so happened to find, but turns out they actually just wanted to go find some gold. However, Mario gets the fruit, Wario and Waluigi stumble on something in a cave, and it starts to attack them. All we can see is a bunch of fuzzies and some type of purple smog that's approaching them. Now, the first thing I noticed was a bunch of spider webs that seemed to stretch out and grab them, but I really didn't think much of it. Anyways, the smog reaches them and turns them all into babies, including Wario and Waluigi. Fast forward towards the end of the story where you make it back into that same temple, and it's your job to make it back to the room that transformed you in the first place. Now, you'll come across a couple of challenges where you need to deflect the fuzzies back onto these purple infested panels in order to turn them back with your Taifu racket, but you also have these scuttlebug enemies dropping down from the ceiling to try to attack you, which so happen to be spiders, so yeah, I was already putting two and two together. Now it's time for the first of the two mini-bosses that you'll have to face. You'll see some glowing red eyes come out of the smog, and before long, you'll see it's another scuttlebug. But this one seems different. He seems to be bigger, more angry, and glowing with some type of golden aura, and also he now has two boxing gloves in the front of his arms. Your job was pretty much to hit all the panels until you could deflect a powerful shot from it that you had to protect Donkey Kong as he's moving around. Stand still. Also, how is the baby the one that has to deflect this powerful shot from this creepy spider instead of big, strong Donkey Kong? Well, venturing deeper into the cave, you'll come across yet again another mini-boss, and you'll find out the names of these guys are Heavy Scuttlebug, because they're heavier. This is pretty much more of the same stuff for the most part, where you have to protect the adult, but it's your job to reflect all of these powerful shots from the Scuttlebug and dodge all the oncoming traffic of enemies. But at the very end, we find Bowser waiting, and what's really funny about this is Bowser just like, yeah, I've teamed up with this evil thing. It's just a bigger Scuttlebug. Now, the only thing I can think of is maybe the crown it's wearing is related to the treasure that Wario and Waluigi wanted, and maybe the treasure, including the crown, has some type of ancient evil tied to it. But it's funny that the big creepy thing that's caused this whole problem in the story mode is literally just a big spider with a crown. What's even funnier is I don't know how he even has the ability to cause people to turn into babies. I mean, it's literally a spider. Now, what's funny about this is it's not just a big spider, it's an enemy that's very rare in Mario, where we've had other spiders like the Spoings or even Tarantox from Mario Galaxy. We've even had the Skeeters from Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. However, the Scuttlebug, now, he's a rare one. Technically, he originated from Mario 64, but as like a giant red marble that looked like this. Now the scuttlebug has gone through some redesigns and changes. For instance, he was completely remade in Mario 64 for the DS, where now he was all yellow and black and with giant red suction cup for feet. But that's the last mainline 3D Mario game that he would make an appearance in. He's only made an appearance in like a couple levels in New Super Mario Bros. DS, and he also would have a random appearance in Mario Party 7. And that's really all the Scuttlebug has been in. I mean, he's literally just been a spin-off character and then maybe a couple stages in a 2D Mario game. In fact, he didn't start getting his signature look that we know today until Mario Kart Arcade GP DX Edition, where he appeared as an actual item that you can get, where he started getting his purple colors instead of black. And I believe the only mainline appearance of his actual new look was in like a singular level in New Super Mario Bros. 2. So yeah, that's pretty much why I thought this was hilarious, because it was such a random enemy to bring back and also make the main antagonist of a tennis game. And I love how they took this super obscure Mario enemy and turned him into like a super powerful final boss. He has the power to like manipulate space-time and send you to past areas that you've already visited through like teleportation, and also has the ability to just turn people into babies for some reason. I thought that was pretty funny. And for the sake of the actual boss battle, I think it did pretty well. Now, it's not by any means difficult whatsoever, and you have an extremely long health meter, but it is actually pretty cool. And I like using Bowser's shell as an actual tennis ball to fight the giant scuttlebug was pretty cool. I just wish there was a bit of more challenge, but as far as a tennis video game boss battle goes, I think they did pretty daggone well. But man, I did not expect us to be battling a giant king spider, and not just any spider, a scuttlebug of that matter. But after you defeat it, the crown pops off, and he's very tiny now. So yeah, it seemed to be a normal scuttlebug that randomly found a crown one day that transformed him into this thing. Wait a second, this is the entire storyline of Sticker Star. But Mario turns back to normal and the tree goes back to glowing a beautiful golden color. Now what's interesting is maybe this was some type of corruption from the tree itself and it corrupted the spiders that were nearby, so maybe it's actually a lot darker and deeper and creepier than we've ever imagined, but they didn't really go into anything. Like, was this a curse from some type of ancient evil? I don't know. It's a tennis game and at least Peach and Daisy look normal again. Now, it's a little too early for me to tell if these boss battles were better than the ones from Aces. I'm not quite sure if they were yet, but one thing I can say for sure, goodness gracious, these cutscenes are top-notch. Like, I don't think there's been another Mario project, mainline, or even spin-off that's had quality cutscenes this good. And dude, watching these things on an OLED TV, yeah, I'm flexing my OLED TV. It is so crisp. Like, they really made this giant cinematic scene of these ancient cave fog monsters chasing Mario and friends like they're some type of demonic beast and they're just some spiders. But dude, this just really hypes me up for the next Mario game, and once again, I'll probably even make an entire video based on the cutscenes alone just to talk about how I really want to see this quality cutscene in the next mainline game. Like, please, Nintendo, hire Camelot to make the next game's cutscenes. But man, first we got the return of Mr. Blizzard as the final boss. Again, and then they cut even deeper with a scuttlebug being the final boss. So you know what that means. For the next Mario Baseball, the final boss better be Snailicorn.